and welcome back to another tutorial on Miss Techie's Corner. As teachers, we know that sometimes trying to find activities that will tailor to our exact needs can be challenging when scouring the internet. So I am about to show you a very simple way that you can create interactive quizzes using PowerPoint utilizing the macros function. So let's get into it and start creating. Let's get going. So here is an example of the type of activity that I will be showing you how to create today. So in here, you'll see that the students are going to be manipulating the ending sounds in words to make new words. So when they click on start, of course the instructions are on the first slide. You click on start, a sound plays, and then I have audio files. So the first one has the instructions, and the other two audio files are just the names of the picture, just in case the student may not know what the picture is. So I've actually shown you one of these in a previous I've actually shown you one of these activities in a previous tutorial, but for those of you who've not seen that, so let me just show you real quickly. When the students click on the audio file, it's going to play the instructions.
This is flag. Flag ends with the sound G. If we change G to N, what will be the new word? Click on the picture.
And then, of course, I have the names of the pictures.
Four. Flan.
So when if the student clicks on a correct picture, they get this little dialog box to tell them whether or not their answer was correct. You click OK, and it moves on to the next slide. It's the same thing. The instructions are on for the first picture and the names of the picture. So let me just go through them real quickly so you can see what it looks like. The answer is correct. Well done. I'll click on this one as an incorrect answer. Sorry, your answer is wrong. So I'm clicking on some correct and incorrect responses so that you can see what it looks like. And now, at the end of the quiz, I get a congratulatory message and a score to tell you how many points you've gotten for that particular activity. And the students can play again, and it's going to revert to the original slide. So you go back, it resets the score. They click on the presentation again, and they can restart the quiz. So without any further ado, let me show you real quickly how to create one of these activities. So I'm going to open a blank PowerPoint. And the first thing you will want to do is to decide what your layout is going to look like, or your background. You can set all of that up. So let's select all, delete, and you can go up to design, background format, and you can choose how you want your background to look like. I'll just keep it simple for this tutorial. If you want to have gradient, of course, you can click to change the colors. Okay, and I'll click apply to all. Now that I'm finished with designing my background, I'll now go to slideshow, and I'll click on setup slideshow, and I'll select browse at a kiosk full screen. Next, you'll notice that I do not have my developers tab is not active or ribbon. So I will click on file, and I'll go down to options. Then I'll go to customize ribbon, and I'm going to select, scroll down and check developer. Click OK. And now you'll see that developer is now an option. Next, I'm going to go to view, and I'm going to now go to the slide master. And on the first slide, on the slide master, I'm going to duplicate this slide master. So I'm going to right click and click on duplicate slide master. And now you'll notice that I have two slide masters. Now I'll select the second layout, so the slide layout. And I'm now going to delete all of the placeholders. And I'm going to create my congratulatory message. Now you can be as creative as you'd like. If you go to insert, if you want to choose word art, which is what I've done, you can do so, or you can also just create it using a text box. But because I just like to be a little extra, I'm going to select word art, and I click on it and I'll type what I want it to be. Awesome job. You can make it whatever you want it. I'm going to go to the developers tab, and I'm going to click on labels. I now want to add a label for my score. So I click on label. When you click on label, and I'm going to draw a little text box there. Now there are two ways that you can edit it. If you right click, you can select on label object and click edit. And you can just change this to 0. Or another way to do that would be to go up to properties, and you will change the name to points, and the caption here is where you will change the caption to 0. All right. Next thing you will want to do is to select the font size and the font type. So if I click on font, then you click on the ellipsis next to Arial, and you now have an option to choose the font that you want. So if I just use Cooper and the style, and you can also change the font size. So let me just do it to 60. You want to be careful depending on the total, the maximum points that your students will have, and will be able to score on whether or not you would be able, it will be able to fit in the box, okay? So you click OK, and that gives you an idea of how large the text is going to be. I'm going to close this box, and you can edit it also, like just to make it a little smaller. Again, keeping in mind how many digits would be able to fit comfortably. All right. Now, because for my particular case, it's just the most you'll get is a 2-digit number. So I don't need it to be too big. If it's going to be 3-digit for you, of course, you can make it a little larger. Next, you also want to create the caption here for what this is. So if it's your points, or you scored, or your total points, you know, whatever it is you want it to be. So again, you will go back to insert, and you can insert a text box. Again, you can also use word art. It's totally up to you. So if I create a text box here. So now that this is your congratulatory message, this is the page that will show up at the end of the presentation. The next thing we want to do is to add our macros. So you're going to go back to developer again, and this time you're going to choose code. Now I'm going to select, I'll click on slide layout 14, double click, and I'm going to put the code in the description below, for you to be able to copy it, so you don't have to type all of this out. Here's the code. As I said, I'll just copy this. Then I'll go back to and I'm going to paste it. Now you can change this to be whatever you want it to be. So if you want this to be 1 or 2 points, how much ever points you want it to be. And here, this is if the students get it correctly, how many points they're going to score. If they get it incorrectly, what will be deducted. So I will just say 1. I'll leave mine at 1 because this is a simple activity. Here, this is the message that will show up when your students click on a correct response. So you can leave it as your answer is correct, well done, or you can say, yay, good job. Let me just put it to yay, good job. And again, similarly, you can change the message that the students will see when they get it incorrectly. Okay, so I'm going to, if they answer incorrectly. So I'm going to say maybe, sorry, wrong, or not quite. All right. Here, where is, in the second line for this one, you want to match it to whatever the slide layout here is for you. Mine is slide layout 14. So in this line, I'm just going to type slide layout 14 and a period. Okay, you have to change this to match whatever yours says on your computer. When you're done, you just close it out, and you can exit the slide master. And now you can go about to create your activity. So if I go to home, again, I'm just for demonstration purposes, I'll keep this very simple. To get I can just copy. I'll just copy these. Just for the sake of time, I copy that and I'll paste it here. All right. So again, let me just show you because I've already created this one with the audio. Again, in my previous tutorial, I showed you how to record audio in PowerPoint. When you are, for this particular activity, when you're creating your audios, you want to make sure you click on it and you want to go to audio, to playback, and you want to make sure that it says when clicked on. Okay, by default is going to be on in click sequence. Please change that to when clicked on. Now I'm going to show you how to link the macros that you created, the codes that you just copied and pasted in the VBA. I'll show you how to link that now, so when your students answer, is going to give them that message to tell whether or not they've answered it correctly or incorrectly. So you click on the first option. So this would be your question, but it's your answer choices that you will be linking the macros to. Okay, so you go to insert, then action, and you're going to select run macro. Now, because I already copied this from a previous presentation, mine is already selected. So you would click here and you would click on correct or incorrect. So in this case, this one is correct. And you can choose if you wanted to play a sound when they click on it or not. And I click OK. And I'll do the same thing for the incorrect response. So I click on the incorrect one, I go up to action, and this time I'm going to select incorrect and OK. And you will do that for each one of them. Okay. So when you're finished with all of your questions, when you finish linking all of them, you will right click on the last slide and select new slide. You will go up to your home and click on the layout, but click on the drop down arrow next to layout, and you're going to select that slide layout, slide layout that you created earlier. So I click on it, and now you want to add a button to say for the students to retry so that it will reset if they decide to play this game again. So I'll go up to Insert, and I'll click on Shapes, and you can choose whatever shape you like. Now you want to link this shape again, so you will click on it, go back to Insert, Action, Run Macro, and this time you're going to select the Reset. Click OK. Your first slide, you can choose to give the instructions here. If you want to add a text box to tell them what to do, you can also do that. Let me just insert a text box or the name of the activity. Liking. Again, this is just for demonstration purposes. So now that you're finished, you want to also link this, add an hyperlink to this button. So I click Insert and the Action, and I'm going to hyperlink it to the next slide. So it means that when the students click, they're going to be prompted to go to slide 2, which is the beginning of the quiz. And I click OK. If you want to have it play a sound, you can do so. When you're finished with your quiz, you will go up to File, Save As. You will choose your location. And you want to change where it says Save as Type, you will change it to Macro Enabled Presentation. All right, you can save it as Presentation or Enabled Show, either one of these. Okay, if you save it as Macro Enabled Presentation, this is where you may want to go back and edit it. Or if you just want it for your students, you would click on Show. So it'll just open it in a show. And you give it a title. And I click OK. Now that it's saved, let's run the slideshow so you can see what it looks like. So I click on Slideshow, and again, the students click Start. They can play the instructions, and they click on the response. It says, yay, good job. They click OK, and they're prompted to go to the next response. Not quite. And it says how many they score. They click play again, and you see it reverts to 0, and they can do this activity again by going back to the first slide and click on Slideshow. And that's it. Thank you for joining me on this tutorial, and please remember to subscribe if you haven't already, Turn on the notification bell so you can be informed when another video is uploaded, and share this video. See you in the next one. Bye.